Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Venom, my new black and white Argentine tegu. So guys, like I said, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, please do me a favour, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, leave a comment please, and remember to hit the post notification bell so you get to know when I upload a video. Now, we've acquired a new animal here at Enclosures, which you would have seen on Instagram if you do follow me there. That is Venom, who is our Argentine black and white tegu. Venom named from the movie that's just been, I think it's about a year old now, but it's been on telly quite a lot. It's one of my kids' favourite films, so they decided to call this little one Venom, which I think is a pretty cool name. Obviously nothing to do with it being a venomous lizard, because obviously we know it's not. So without further ado guys, let's get Venom out of his enclosure and talk about him a bit more. So guys, this is Venom. He's obviously my black and white Argentine tegu. What can I say about him? As you can see, he's just a puppy dog. Really nice sort of individual. There was a few to choose from when I went to go and get him from Ridgeway, and he sort of stood out to me as being just the most docile, the most sort of gentle out of the few that they had. So this is why we picked him, obviously because his beautiful vibrant colours as well. Absolute stunning little boy. So black and white tegus guys, now this has been my dream pet for a long time, and in saying that, I've done a lot of research before I acquired Venom. Obviously they're going to get very big, and I think they're the biggest of the tegus, and I think the biggest lizards outside of monitors. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they are. Males can get to about 4 feet and just built like tanks. Not sure if this is a boy or a girl yet. I'm sort of assuming it's a boy, hence the name Venom. When he's older, if he's a boy, he will get sort of pronounced bulges on either side of his cheeks, where the cheek muscles grow. And that's sort of a telltale sign that it's a male. So tegus are omnivores, which basically means they eat anything. This little one is being fed by or fed on locusts, crickets, mealworms. He has the occasional rat pup or mouse fluff, whichever one I have available at the time. They're also pretty keen on meat, sort of raw meat. Things like hearts, like lamb hearts, chicken hearts, liver, but not too much liver because you can overdose them on liver from the D3 that's contained within. Also egg is good, egg yolk if it's raw, or sort of soft boil an egg. I think unless you soft boil the whites, it's quite bad for them. Fish is really good as well. Freshwater is preferred to saltwater, obviously because of the salt content. But they will eat anything, and because of that guys, they're very prone to becoming obese, and you could, before you know it, end up with a big fat lazy lizard, which is not something that you want. You want a nice lean lizard. You want it to look big, but you know, still want to move and not just slumped on its hot spot because it can't be bothered to move. So that's the goal with this one. We don't want them to get too big too soon, and we don't want them to get fat. We want him to be nice and healthy and nice and lean, just like he is now. As you can see, absolutely beautiful animals. The colours absolutely outstanding. These do come in a red phase as well, but I'm pretty sure that the reds tend to be a bit more aggressive or / defensive, depending on how you want to look at it. So these are sort of the best sort of go-to lizard stroke tegu if you want a big lizard, but you want something that you can handle, nothing that's too aggressive. Now they can be aggressive if you don't put the time into them. Venom is held every day by myself and the children if they're about, but he gets to know every day that we're not here to harm him, we're not here to cause him any sort of trouble. We just want to appreciate him, and we sort of imprint on him a bit like we do on a bird. And these are known for sort of creating quite a bond with their keepers. That is obviously what I've read up and what I've seen. Hopefully I can prove that. They're very, very intelligent animals, just like all monitors and lizards and tegus. They're very, very intelligent. As you can see, his tongue, he's got a forked tongue just like snakes, which feeds to the Jacobson organ in the top of its roof of its mouth. And that's basically, it does the exact same thing a snake's tongue would do. So it's sniffing the air, it's taking in air particles, and he's putting them into the Jacobson organ to sort of analyse and detect what's sort of about. So they've got a very, very good sense of smell. They can find food from a long, long way away. So that's really good to sort of feed him really smelly foods like fish and things like that. He's on it like a car bonnet, trust me. Absolutely gorgeous. So he's mostly fed on sort of insects, with the occasional bit of meat. As he grows, his diet will consist more of meat, I think, but not just pure meat. Don't give them cooked meat, guys. They find it really hard to sort of digest cooked meat, so raw meats only. And you can get like things like ground turkey and things like that, and make a sort of a mash-up of food, like a puree of all sorts of things, which is really good. But you don't get as much nutrients from sort of processed meat, like like ground turkey and things like that, than you would do pure meat, like from a rat pup or from hearts and things like that. It's pure meat, pure protein. But you can sort of do a sort of a mixture. They also eat snails. They love snails, but obviously not wild caught snails out your garden, because they're 100% be full of worm, like lungworm and things like that. They're not a good animal. But you can get sort of the farm raised snails from the reptile shops. Absolutely love them. Give them shell and all, and they crush the shell. And it's really good to watch them sort of eat different foods. With the snakes, as much as I love feeding snakes, it's very much repetitive and it's all the same. But with these, you can give them such a varied diet, and it's just so good how they tackle individual different sort of food items. It's really cool. He has been fed today, so we're not going to feed him on camera, but I will in the next few days sort of get some footage of him feeding, because it's really cool how he actually goes about it. But sort of give you a closer look. The camera will focus. Absolutely stunning little boy or girl. Very taily. They've got very long tails. They can actually drop their tails, or sort of drop the tips of their tails. Not sure why they do that, because obviously being a big lizard, they wouldn't have many predators in the wild, I'm sure. But they do it. They don't grow back. But as you can see, he's very happy just walking on my hand. He's going for a little walk. I haven't got to hold him. He's not really skittish. He just likes having a little wander, exploring his surroundings, with that tongue, sniffing the air, and just sort of analysing what's going on. It's really good enrichment for them. So that's why they're a really good popular pet, because a lot of people opt for a smaller tank, which is what I will do when he gets big enough. Sort of the bigger the better enclosures when it comes to tegus, but I probably opt for something like 6 by 4 feet, because he will be spending a hell of a lot of time out of the enclosure in the snake room, getting lots of exercise, so he won't be sort of viv bound. But absolutely stunning. So let's go and take a look at Venom's enclosure. As I say, it's a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2.5 foot, I think, which will plenty do him for a while yet. But they are very fast growers, so as soon as he needs an upgrade, he will be getting one. So let's take a look at that enclosure right now. So we'll put Venom back in his enclosure. Going for a wander there. So very simple enclosure that we have for him. Substrate that we use is this sort of forest floor, it's sort of like a bark mixed with moss. They like high humidities. So that's his sort of hot hide or warm hide. That's his barskin sort of bridge, if you like. He's got a bit of bark in there, and if you come around the other side, he's got a nice big water bowl. Now the substrate could be deeper, but it's deep enough for him to burrow. He does burrow a hell of a lot, and when he goes to bed, he always burrows himself to sleep. And you've got to wonder sometimes whether he's actually in there. This is controlled, well, it's got a ceramic heat bulb, so it's sort of pushing about 40 degrees onto that sort of bridge there. They do require quite a hot spot, over 100 degrees, and that's sort of controlled by the thermostat there. It's a bit blurry, but that's on a timer with the UV light. So the lights go on in the morning at 7 along with the heat, and go off again at 7 at night. So he sort of gets a day and a night cycle. So it is a 4-foot Viv by 2 foot by 2.5, which does him adequately for now. Of course he will need an upgrade you know, very very soon. I could watch him all day in this enclosure, guys. He's just so cool to watch. He's going into his hot hide. So guys, there we are. I hope you enjoyed meeting Venom, my Argentine black and white tegu. Absolutely in love with him. He's absolutely beautiful, and I do urge you, if you're in the market for a large lizard, they are probably the best sort of beginner species, where they don't get too big, but they get big enough to be sort of impressive looking, and something you can really tame down. And they can be really puppy dog tame, but do your research, guys, please. They do get large, and they do require quite a large enclosure. So if you think you can't sort of provide that sort of long term, then forget it. Honestly, forget it. Obviously they need a lot of UV as well, so make sure your UV lights up to sort of scratch. If you're buying a second-hand enclosure for it, if you get one and it's got a UV light in it, get rid of it. Just change out for a fresh UV light, because they do need to be changed every so often, because the UV reduces over time. It just becomes a light, so you're not going to know if it's actually sort of putting out UV light. It's just going to be light. So you know, that's a good tip. You know, the first day I got that enclosure, I completely changed the UV light for a brand new one, so I know that he's getting a good amount of UV. So guys, that's it for today. I am back at work tomorrow, so a bit of quiet for me for the next few days, but please, if you do get some time, check some other videos of mine. Really would appreciate it. My sub count's going beautifully at the moment, so thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. Thank you for everyone who's been commenting, because I love reading your comments, so please carry on. Remember to hit that notification bell as well, so you get to know when I upload a future video and that you don't miss any. I'll be doing another giveaway very soon, so again, you're not going to want to miss that. So guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you very soon.